then
All right. I got a note saying recording in progress, so you've been good.
yeah, no, I was okay. Awesome. Okay,
So
so
go ahead.
no, here we go. I can go. You wanna get started or on introducing yourself, or I
Sure,
started?
sure.
Okay.
My name's Hal Cranmer. I own four assisted living homes around Phoenix, Arizona, and I'm all about trying to make my residents as healthy as possible and maybe move back home. And doing that, I had the wonderful experience of meeting Momi here next to me that is doing amazing things with her mom and helping her. Do you want to
Yeah.
introduce yourself, Momi?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Momi Rapozo. I have been going through this journey with my mom, my sister and I just, it obviously impacts the entire family. But since about 2012, I think is when we started noticing the initial signs of dementia and cognitive issues. And obviously it's just progressed since then. But we had the pleasure and the opportunity to have my mom move after kind of coming across the Bredesen protocol, move her into Marama, the first here in California, because we're based out of California.
Mhm.
Um, the first assisted living community that implements in totality, right, the Bredesen protocol. So kind of and founded by Dr. Heather Sanderson. So have learned a lot, throughout this journey. And just again, just like you, Hal, love to share what we've learned over the years, what's working, very much trial and error, but whatever works or however we can help. We want
Right.
to do that.
So you moved her into Marama, and
Yeah.
then you've moved her out of Marama, and now you're taking care of her at home, which is really cool,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Which is like obvious. It's usually the goal, right? I mean, we don't want to move our parents necessarily into assisted living or memory care. And, it was definitely a difficult decision. 2019 was when we moved her to the first, what I would call big box facility, here in the San Diego area. And saw her, that was, right before the pandemic, saw her decline, with what happened in 2020 and just the lack of social interaction. And a lot of them had to stay in their rooms for many hours. They would go on walks still. And my mom's probably going to come in right now. Mom, here,
Awesome.
let me help you. Yeah. No, 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 no. I'll bring this over here and then go ahead and sit down when you're ready. Go ahead and sit down. Take a break. Do you need to use the restroom or anything? Not yet. Okay. Oh, sorry about that.
No
In
problem at
the midst
all.
of in the midst of caregiving.
Yeah.
Here, go ahead and finish
Yeah,
your.
I'd love for everyone to meet this beautiful lady.
Oh, thank you for
There.
inviting
Hey, good morning.
Hold on one second. I'm gonna shut the door.
Momi said you went out and got some sunshine this morning.
every day. I love
Every day.
it.
It's so important for everyone.
Go to the bathroom, go look at the windows, see if the sun's out. It's my day.
Wonderful.
No, then I go back to bed.
Well, and that's the challenge with mom sometimes is we don't want her the weather dictating her mood.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, but yeah, I mean that's also one of the other grateful things that you guys probably get a lot of sun in Arizona.
Oh, we get a little. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Gets kind of hot over there.
You don't
Yeah.
have any trees in Arizona, I've noticed.
There are trees, but you have to go up very far north to get them.
Okay, so
Yeah.
they
We
don't.
have some scraggly trees around Phoenix, but more Flagstaff area, there's a lot of trees.
Yeah. And it gets colder in Flagstaff,
It
right?
gets colder. It gets snow up there. But
Yeah.
I mean, California's the same way, right?
No,
Yeah.
yeah,
Big Bear.
California's more
You know,
warmer.
when you go to the mountains, so yeah, it's definitely warmer, but during the winter we get the snow, Big Bear.
Yeah.
And like Julian area, there's an area called Julian where um, they make the best apple pies, even though that's not part of the ketogenic diet. We'll figure out some way to make it keto.
Yeah, exactly.
I think,
I got people for that.
yeah. There's supposed to be some other vegetable. I forgot the name of it. Um, that is like an apple that doesn't have as much sugar in it. Um,
Oh,
it's green. I'm trying to, maybe I could do
okay. We'll
quick.
do some research.
Oh, we'll do some research and I'll share it with you. And you can
Yep.
share it with your community. But yeah, it's been, you know,
We're we're gonna need that for Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up here.
yes. Always looking for a different alternative where you can still kind of get that same satisfaction with, and Marama did a really good job of that. They had really great chefs that worked there, and they still had cake on birthdays, and they would, they give them desserts, which I'm sure you probably do as well.
We do too. We try to substitute fats a lot for sugars because the fats will still fill you up.
Yeah, fat bombs are really popular. The fat,
Yes.
yeah,
And good. I mean, the fat d produces the ketones that help your brain. So
yeah,
we want them to take a lot of fat, particularly if they're, not overweight, which a lot of elderly aren't. So they
yeah,
can take on a lot of fat. Um, yeah, and then there's some sugar substitutes you can use too to sort of
right.
satisfy that sweet tooth without going crazy on the glycemic index.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, the Lakanto brand and then
monk fruit.
monk fruit. Yeah, I
Yeah.
kind of like to just stick with the monk fruit and in its concentrated version in the powder or in drops.
Mm.
It does the job, it definitely
It
sweetens.
does. You don't
Yeah.
need much.
No. And then the erythritol, I think which is some of the product or the chemical, I guess, that they combine it with sometimes.
Yeah,
Not super. I've seen some, articles come out showing that that's not that good for you. So,
I
um,
know. I better safe than sorry kind of on that.
yeah,
Same with like stevia and stuff. We really try to minimize any use of that.
yeah, right. So,
I, I think what we have a health coach at our homes too, and one of the things she emphasizes is read the labels, like read the ingredients, not the front. Because, when we first started this, my caregivers, with all good intentions, were going out and buying keto bread or keto chocolate chip cookies, and it says that on the front. But when you look on the back, yeah, it's not sugar, but they put maltodextrin in it or something like that, that it's still bad, even if it says keto. And there's no regulation to say
right.
this is the definition of keto. So, they can put keto on Krispy Kreme donuts, and there's nothing to stop them from doing that.
Yeah. I mean, they say keto friendly, right? And that's
Yeah.
not that's not
Yeah.
but there's, I mean, it's kind of crazy because this country is heavily regulated in many areas. And then, this one area is a little bit looser. So,
Right.
but you do have to, one of the things that we had to do with my mom is, because we talked about a little bit earlier before we jumped on and started recording is some of the challenges that families, go through when they have a loved one who's going through dementia or memory loss is, not necessarily having somebody that can really give you the answer to help you through this journey. The doctors were just kind of like, oh, yeah, well, it wasn't even, there are not really even any specific tests out there. And this was, a while ago, right? So 2015, I think, is when we started really, you know, searching and having, talking to my mom's primary care physician. And, they have very little recommendations on how to attack this, right? And it's
Yeah.
it's
Put your affairs in order is the phrase I hear most often.
yeah, and so, it was very debilitating, it was discouraging, and that's what kind of led me down the path of like there's got to be a way, there's got to be something we can do to help her. And then with that research came across Dr. Dale Bredesen's book, The End of Alzheimer's, and then reading through that, and then also talking with my boyfriend's actually good friend who's a pastor and lives in Florida. He recommended looking at testing her homocysteine levels, and looking at inflammation. And so he kind of set me down that path. Um, I think there's a couple different camps too. I know what you guys do over there with the carnivore diet and ketogenic is, also heavily protein, um, with vegetables and it just low sugars, low carbs. But
Yes.
I think also, and then looking at from a fruits perspective, kind of staying away from fruits and doing more berries.
Right. Yep.
Um,
We do some berries,
What's the
yeah.
difference?
Well,
but they're sweet. I mean, you can take a few berries for dessert and it's
and you're good,
not bad at all carb wise and it satisfies you.
right? You like berries, right,
Oh,
Mom?
yeah, there's nothing I don't like.
Yeah, she'll eat
Yeah,
any.
berries are popular.
Raw fish, I love it.
She loves raw fish. So that's good.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
I grew up in New England. I'm a huge fish fan. I
oh.
it I have varying degrees of success offering that in my community. The meat, the veggies, usually no problem, but the fish can
Yeah.
be challenging.
Do you feed them salmon sometimes though?
We try salmon. We try a lot of like sort of the lower rung fish. I forget there's an acronym out there, but it's like salmon, some oysters. Um, I try sardines where I can.
Oh, sardines
Um,
would be really good for you. Yeah.
I haven't tried the herring. I think that's another one on the list, but um, I
Yeah.
tried that. I used to live in Minnesota, and there's a lot of Norwegians that eat that herring. They call it like lutefisk or something, and it's awful in my opinion.
Yeah. You,
But salmon's one I can get away with. We'll do some shrimp, things like that.
yeah.
Um, to
Yeah.
and the shrimp seems to pretty popular too. But once they get into the oysters and the sardines, that gets a little more challenging.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Your mouth is watering, Mom.
But we, I didn't mean to do
Breakfast.
that. Sorry.
Hungry
But
again.
we still give them a lot of fish oil as a supplement
Yeah.
to make up for that, especially the ones who don't like the fish, to try to balance that omega-3, omega-6 ratio.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. How
so I
often?
think whether
Okay.
you do Dale Bredesen's protocol or we actually work with another company that does what they call the enhanced protocol, Mind for All Seasons.
Right.
But it's kind of just this functional medicine approach. There's biomarkers you have in your body that if you can optimize those, your chances of improving your cognition would go up as well.
Right. Yeah. So we're actually tomorrow we have an appointment at Dr. Sanderson's clinic, Salsari, to retake the labs. It's been a minute. But that's some of the things, right? It's a, and that's one of the other things that, I share with a lot of people when we talk about this, because people reach out to me periodically, about what we're doing with our mom. And it's a commitment. It certainly is a commitment. Um, because there's a routine, right, that,
Hmm.
that we have to go through. So my sister and I implement that on a daily basis with her. Some of the things that, and it's not always easy. It's a lot to think about. You have to kind of continue to make sure she has all of her supplements, that she needs and all of the, like we do the, mushroom extracts, like
Hmm.
lion's mane in a powder form and in, a tincture. So,
Sure.
anything, and it's difficult to see like what makes a difference, but I think, you make a good point. Staying on track with taking the labs, helps you, it gives you kind of like, it guides you through the process and helps you to see, okay, where do we need more, or what do we need to add?
Right, because it's feedback, right? Are we doing the right things? Is it making a difference? Because you don't want to spend a ton of money on supplements that aren't changing any of the labs or changing her abilities or anything like that. And it kind of guides you into, okay, let's try something different. Let's change this up. Or, hey, this is working great. Let's keep doing that. Or we've even seen markers get like really, really good that we back off,
Yeah,
supplements that, hey, we don't need this so much anymore. So it's, I liken it to flying a plane. I have instruments all in front of me when I was flying planes, and they tell me you're on course, you're off course, you're
right,
on altitude, you're off altitude.
right.
Fix it. It's
Yeah,
not right.
Yeah, you need that. We need
Right.
guide
Uh,
us.
and it's kind of the same way. So I think labs are extremely important when we're doing this. We do regular labs. It's amazing how many labs you got to do as well.
Yeah. I remember when we first went into Dr. Sanderson's clinic and, started, this was before, no, this was like early 2020. And they drew my mom's, they had the blood drawn and they took 14 vials of blood.
Yeah. Oh, I know. We do the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would worry that my residents are going to faint or pass out.
She's like, how much more?
Yeah.
My mom has really been super patient and a
That's
trooper, really
wonderful.
strong through this whole process because, we've done MRIs and those are not easy to sit through.
Yeah.
Um, so you've done a great job, Mom.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let me ask you about the commitment part of it. It is a commitment. I commend you and I admire you for doing what you're doing. But ha has that rubbed off on you? Like I see with my residents, as I learn more about this, I'm changing my own habits. I'm changing the way I live my life. Um, because I think, A, I don't want to end up in memory care or have any problems, but I see the improvement and it just automatically wears off on me. Like I
Yep.
should be doing that too. Do
Yeah.
you find that as well?
And we have, so yeah, definitely. It's definitely changed how I eat. I mean, I don't, I cheat every once in a while, and sometimes we
We
do.
all do.
I mean, we all do. And that's one of the biggest differences. I mean, after moving her back home, it probably, you know, it took us a while to get on track. And we have so many social engagements, out here in the community. We're pretty
Great.
connected to the Hawaiian community, and that's great from a socialization perspective. But a lot of times when you're going to the events, there's always the dessert section.
Yeah.
And so it's a little bit of a tug of war with her.
Mhm.
She's very she has strong willpower.
Just sugar now.
Yeah, no, and that we know sugar is not good for the brain, right?
Yes.
But yeah, it's from it definitely has rubbed off. I know the difference. So the biggest difference that I've seen with myself is the intermittent fasting and just fasting in general.
Hmm.
I think that makes a big difference is just making sure that you don't eat just because yeah, I have a tendency to stress eat. A very demanding job and
Hmm.
dealing with a parent with dementia is not easy as well. I travel back and forth,
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
yeah, LA to San Diego every week and it's not the easiest thing. And so that's why the other reason is I have to be on point in order to help her.
Definitely.
And that's the way I see it. I'm like, if I'm struggling, if I'm sick, and I recently had issues with like with my thyroid and
Hmm.
respiratory issues, and I don't like to go to the doctor, but I did have to go to the endocrinologist and he was like after taking my levels, he was like, most people with levels like you don't want to get out of bed. And I was like, yeah, it was really hard for me to, kind of
Wow.
back and forth and catch the train and then I just realized I'm allergic. I think I'm allergic to the cat here, so I kind of keep my distance now. This
Oh,
is the
okay.
first time we've had a cat. When we moved back into the house after moving my mom out of
Hmm.
Marama, coming back here, the cat was just kind of hanging out. So
Okay.
yeah. So, anyways, but those are the types of things that you keep in mind. Exercise, I think, has been for me, I have to exercise. I love, that for you, it's probably different because you don't have to sit down as much throughout the day. Maybe you're able to move more throughout the day, but
Yeah.
I do have a sit down job and that sedentary lifestyle, I have to make a point. Sometimes I have hours of calls back to back throughout the day. So, that's one of the things I'm working on is making sure I'm getting my exercise. But when I'm with her, it's really easy for me to eat healthy. Because
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Yeah. But even having her exercise too, I think it's so important because you hear stories of people who care for elderly parents and they start suffering from health issues too, like you're saying about your thyroid and everything. So don't just focus on them, focus on you too, because you want to be around. You don't want to have two people, bad because it's bad for both of you.
Yeah. Well, there's statistics out there, I think, that say that, in a material percentage of the time, the caregivers, the person that's being cared for outlives the caregiver just because of the level of stress. So,
Oh,
you know,
yeah. Or
sitting,
lack of sleep, or yeah,
yeah,
lots of reasons. But I think you're right. And they let their health decline. They don't eat as well because they think, okay, I've got to grab something real quick to eat so I can go back to caring for them. When you should be, hey, let's just make portions for two here and we both eat healthy,
yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
Or let's exercise together, that kind of thing. I mean, even walking has so many benefits, and like you're taking your mom out in the sunshine, you get the vitamin D as well and the fresh air. I mean, I've read fresh air is just a natural disinfectant too. So
So,
you can combine a whole lot of stuff very easily. We take all our residents walking every morning
yeah,
outside, short of it being 115 or raining or something. But yeah.
yeah.
Well, if you take them in the first thing in the morning, it's, 80 before it warms up for the day. So
When my girls were young, that was my main thing. Sunshine. We're gonna go outside. See you guys later. We're gonna go outside.
was that in Hawaii?
Here,
Wherever.
San
Oh,
Diego.
okay. All right.
Yeah. But we
Yeah,
would, it's just here in San Diego. But she put us in swimming really early.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we were
They're in
outside.
the pool.
Yeah.
oh, great.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah,
One
that's what
of
kids should be doing. There's too much screen time these days, unfortunately.
Totally agree. But one of the things that we've started recently with my mom is walking up this hill. There's a hill near the house.
Okay.
And so we walk down, and I've actually been noticing some improvement. A couple different things that were new that we implemented recently is the plasmalogen, and when we were talking about it earlier, I think
Yep.
Prodrome is the name of the
Hmm.
company. Our health coach, Empowered to Heal is her company. Recommended that, and I've been giving that to my mom for a
What
few
is
months
that?
now. It's like omega 3s. It's just a lot of, your brain needs fat.
I don't need all
Yeah,
that.
it's a form of fat that
It's
helps your cell walls.
Yeah.
Am I gonna get fat?
No, that they actually say you lose weight by eating saturated fats.
Really?
In fact, if you look at like Vogue magazine from the 70s, or there's like weight loss ads from the 50s, they talk about eating steak and fats
Yeah.
and tallow and things like that. They don't say just restrict your calories or eat celery all day, because
Yeah.
no one can do that. You're gonna
But our
you're
body
gonna
needs those nutrients.
Right, exactly. You got to feel full. So then
Right.
your body uses those really well. So it I mean, I see it. I have very obese people come to my assisted living home. We put them on just protein and fat and not much fat, mostly protein, and they lose hundreds of pounds,
Yeah. Oh,
while not feeling like they're starving by any means.
right. Yeah. Well, my mom, after moving to Marama, I kind of have a before and after picture on the Instagram, Dementia Healing, and you can see the difference in the weight loss. I think I don't even know how many pounds it was, but I would say at least 40 pounds she lost.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep. We've had plenty of people do that with us, and they still feel, and they feel healthier too. They don't feel sickly and, oh, I'm just starving all the time or anything like that. So
Yeah.
it's neat to see that
It
it
is.
just benefits your whole body.
Yeah, it's a total body transformation, which is what we saw. So I mean, I would say like after moving her in to Marama, and really, we tried to implement things here at the house, to keep her at home, but it was just a challenge. And my sister worked a lot, so she was home by herself a lot, and it was, her anxiety levels were spiking, and she would call 911 a lot, and it was just something that was not sustainable. And so that's why we moved her to the big box facility. And then after seeing, I tried to work with them on the food, because they
It's
offer
hard.
It's difficult. It's difficult.
The big box facilities have contracts with food providers, and this is what we
Cisco,
have.
yeah, you get your Cisco, the Cisco food kind of that's like packaged,
Right.
frozen,
Yep.
ready to eat up quick, and you just don't have a lot of nutrients in that
No,
food.
they're also providing food to restaurants and, schools and things like that, which not to say those shouldn't be nutritious too, but they're not really focused on this elder community or communities of people who need nutritious food much more than just regular people out there.
Yes.
So,
Yep.
do you have any kind of hacks or hints for people in your situation that are working full-time jobs, taking care of their parents? What have you found that could help them?
Um, I mean, what we did have her go to an adult daycare for a little while. Um,
Okay,
I think that's good from a socialization perspective. It definitely helps
definitely.
breaks up her day. Um, we have care now, we have care, our routine is we have some caregivers built in because we get Veterans Affairs, the aid in attendance. My dad was in fought in the Vietnam War, so
Awesome.
he was in the Navy, and so that helps out. So we're able to pay for a couple of caregiver a couple of times a week. So a lot
Great.
of times what we do is there's a lot of stuff available on YouTube. I know you don't want to just kind of put her on in front of the TV or put your parent in front of the TV, but there's a lot of if you just kind of do look up senior either chair exercises or leg strengthening exercises or balance exercises. There are a few that we use that my mom likes. She's kind of picky. They have to be interesting. um, keep her
Yeah,
engaged.
I couldn't agree more. Anything on YouTube, I want to watch it. It has to be interesting.
Has to be interesting.
Mhm.
Um, and so I think that helps out if you're trying to, I'm able to work from home part of the time. And so my sister, she works for Alaska Airlines. So she's I'm here half of 3 days, maybe 4 days a week, and then she's with my mom the rest of the time. So we definitely it works out if you have a sibling. But I know for people
Right.
who don't necessarily have anybody else to help support that, I think finding a good caregiver can be challenging as well. We've gone through
Very,
multiple caregivers until we would find somebody. We found someone that's good. So, I encourage them to be very, honest about the level of service that you get because you're paying for it, right?
right,
And
absolutely.
yeah, and
What,
and
uh, where did you look to find your caregivers?
care.com was where I found a couple of the caregivers that I was going direct to. But the other Comfort Keepers is the other company that we go through where they contract out caregivers. And so um that's the company that we work with that we have people coming pretty consistently 2 times a week.
Okay,
But like I said, we went through probably about 5 different caregivers until we found somebody that we're comfortable with. And it's also, this is new for a lot of people. We have a whole regimen. And so, you have folks that come in where they're like, oh, she may not want that, or why does she have to do this? Or, you know what I mean? Like there's some people that are just
right,
on board with it.
right.
And so, it takes a little while of explanation and just kind of sharing, what we've had. My mom has had, dementia for 10 years. Some people don't even survive that. So
No, some people decline really fast, like 2 or 3 years even.
yeah. So I mean, I think she's a walking miracle, in my
Oh
book.
yeah, no, I'm amazed at what you're doing.
Yeah.
How do I get money for that?
Don't know.
If
Um,
I can figure that out, I'll let you know.
yeah,
Okay.
we'll research that, Mom. We'll let you know how you're gonna do it. But
But you're an incredible example to others.
yeah.
Oh,
So
that makes
what, I'm sorry, what was that?
makes me feel good.
Good. You should, because it's really neat what you've done, and it's amazing what you've accomplished.
Just being myself helps others.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes. And not only an example of what you've done with your own health, but what wonderful daughters you've raised that have helped you
it was
be
easy.
able to do
Kids are easy.
that.
Okay, we didn't give her much trouble, I guess. And we were in the pool most of the time. In school, in the pool.
Well,
Like,
that's what she did. She just kept distracting you.
exactly. Very good strategy. You're smart, mom.
Very good strategy. Yeah,
Keep them
Keep
healthy.
them healthy. Yeah. No, it makes them.
absolutely. Could you
Oh,
go over sort of what a day looks like or something to help others and what kind of you're giving her during the day to help her with her dementia?
yeah, so we definitely start off with protein because one of the things that we've seen is that, if you start off with any type of, high carbs, I mean, we try to stick with ketogenic diet. What she had this morning, so what I did this morning, first thing is, I give her whatever pills like for her hormones that usually have to take first thing in the morning. A lot of times we do something called black seed oil as well. So a lot of times that has to be taken on an empty stomach.
Hmm.
Um, and that helps to detoxify. It's a strong antioxidant. For my mom specifically, she is one APOE4. She has one APOE4 allele. So
Okay.
has the challenge with she doesn't sweat a lot, right? So she has
Hmm.
challenges with detoxing. And so a lot of the focus that we've had with her is how do we get her to detox? We have the portable sauna that we
Okay.
do. That's like later on in the day.
Hmm.
She sits in that portable sauna and we have a Juve light. So the red light therapy we do as well. Um,
Great.
it's later on in the day. But breakfast is usually, eggs and, either bacon or sausage, chicken sausage or something like that.
Awesome.
Sausage. With some veggies sauteed in there. I do some veggies.
Great.
Um, sometimes we'll start the day with there's like keto oatmeal. I'm not sure if you've heard of this.
Oh,
Yeah, we usually just kind of it includes like coconut flour. And I try not to do this too often because that is still processed, right? But
right.
coconut flour, flax seeds,
But every so often it's not bad.
every so often. Yeah, chia seeds. It's still a lot of protein and fiber.
Great.
And then yeah, chia seeds and hemp seeds. And you just kind of pour hot water in there, mix it up, and it becomes kind of like an oatmeal.
Like an oatmeal. So
Yeah.
so it's not like you're buying a keto oatmeal off the shelf. You're making a keto
Oh yeah.
oatmeal.
Yeah. Making it.
Okay.
And then
Mhm.
sometimes, and then you put, a little bit of vanilla and then cinnamon. And then, the protein shakes in the morning. There's a company called Mount Capra that was recommended by our health coach that has clean protein. And so we use that. We put that in the smoothie. Um, and I invest in Shakeology. So sometimes I throw in Shakeology, which has a lot of good stuff in it as well.
What
Um,
is that like a protein powder or something? I
yeah,
haven't heard.
it's a protein powder. It's from Beachbody. I'm not sure if you're familiar
Okay.
with the company. Um, so there's that, and then goji berries we'll throw in. I try to put in the Brazil nuts because it's a good source of selenium and like B12.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
yeah, and
Both
sometimes
very important for brain health.
yeah, and
Hmm.
sometimes it's hard for her to eat those because sometimes the Brazil nuts are a little hard. So I just
Yeah.
throw it. We'll throw pumpkin seeds into the smoothie. Um, and blueberries, and then there's like moringa powder. um I do use some creatine. um
Okay.
it,
Creatine's important.
yeah, so I throw that in there. What else do we put in there? Some blueberries, some wild frozen blueberries. I'm not sure if like mixing the protein with the blueberries is good, but um
Oh, what? Well, I don't know. I
I
would
don't
think it'd
know.
be fine.
There's always like there's this Dr. Bo Wagner, and he's I think he's passed on now, but he was out of Santa Monica in the LA area. He had written this book about food combining. And so, combining certain foods together. I don't know
Okay.
necessarily. I think it all depends on how your body processes it and how, what does it do to your gut health? Gut health is
Right.
really important. That's one piece of the kind of overall protocol that I haven't really completely figured out. I think we
That's a
can,
tough one. I don't think scientists have completely figured out that one.
yeah,
But your gut's your second brain is what they're saying. So
yeah.
Mm.
So it's important. But yeah, so I think that's pretty much, let's see, what else do we put?
that's
Some,
quite a shake.
yeah, it's a good shake. I mean, I try to, I try to put some, sometimes we'll put nut berries. I try to stay away from peanut butter. I've heard that there could be mold in there, so we usually just do like walnut butter or almond butter. Um,
Hmm.
and there's this Nutso brand that I like. It has a lot of different nuts in it and chia seeds and things like that. So sometimes I'll throw that in there. But that's usually like, got to start off with the proteins. And then, like I said, usually some eggs, avocado, and some type of additional like meat protein. And
Hmm.
um, and then, we try to do at least a salad a day. Um, so a lot of times we'll do like spaghetti squash with meatballs. There's a lot of different options. And then chicken.
Right.
Just try to do like a protein with veggies, broccoli, asparagus.
What do you use for salad dressing? Because a lot of the dress, what people think, oh, I'll have a salad, then they pour this awful ranch dressing that has all kinds of sugar on it, and it kind of
Yeah.
cancels out any. What do you think about? I used to put apple cider vinegar when I ate more salads as dressing, and it really wasn't that bad. I actually
Yeah.
liked it.
Without, did you mix it with anything else? Well, so I did make like
Oh,
a avocado, um,
like
uh,
a vinaigrette or something, or
yeah, well, avocado and lemon and garlic and olive oil. I
okay,
mean,
yeah, no, I'd mix the apple cider vinegar with olive oil.
oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, olive oil is good. The other thing too, like one of the first things that we do is a kind of a little shot of lemon juice, freshly squeezed, olive oil, and then put some cayenne, drops of a tincture, a couple drops of cayenne that I get from Dr. Schultz, which his stuff he's based out of Marina Del Rey. And it's pretty strong, so it makes it a little bit spicy. And then we do methylene blue. And I think we've seen drops of methylene, like 15 drops of methylene blue. And
We use that too.
yeah,
It's
and
to
we
help.
yeah, seeing a big difference. She would complain about bladder pain or just, UTI. She would get UTIs frequently and knock
Mhm.
on wood, that actually has almost
Wow,
completely stopped. So,
that's great. You
yeah.
just have to be careful about dropping it on anything
Yeah.
because it fades badly. Yeah,
Yeah.
we've actually got a guy who's on it and he has a catheter and like his catheter bag is all blue now. But
Yeah.
his UTIs are gone, so yeah, it definitely helps.
UTIs are it's so difficult from a cognitive perspective. It impacts your brain health pretty significantly. I mean, we see that
Oh
with,
yeah.
I mean,
People start getting hallucinations from them sometimes.
yes.
And the it gets further because when they have the UTI and you go to a doctor, the doctor gives you antibiotics for it, which
Yeah.
wipes out your gut, which hurts your brain more.
Yeah.
So it's like not just the UTI, but it's the follow on from the UTI that
Yep.
affects you even more.
Yep, yep. And then you gotta cleanse from that. So,
Right.
it's
And then that brings back more UTIs and they give you stronger antibiotics and the cycle just makes it gets worse and worse.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. I mean, and you don't want to get caught up in that, as much as possible.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's just amazing, like some of the other transformations. So, and then after breakfast, usually we go on a walk. We try to walk a little bit, like after you eat, try to take her to the park if I have a car. Um,
I think
but
walking after you eat kind of calms down your blood sugar too.
yeah, right. Yeah, and then
So
we do the Kirtan Kriya meditation as well, where you're kind of doing tapping and
the
whispering,
fingers.
singing. I think humming helps from a parasympathetic and sympathetic perspective. Like it keeps you calm.
Humming activates your vagus nerve.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So,
yes, that's very true.
yeah. So, and all that stuff has helped. I mean, I'm actually like I was just thinking about it while we were talking, and the fact that she's sitting here chilling, like honestly, before we
And
really
smiling.
yeah, and tracking to the conversation. I mean, there
Yeah.
were times where, early on when she was in Marama, where, she has a Facebook portal and we're talking to some of my aunts, FaceTiming with some of my aunts in Hawaii, and she would just constantly ask the same question. Now, Julie, where do you live? Now, Judy, where
Right.
do you live? And we're, having a conversation. And the fact that she's tracking to our conversation right now, but I
Yeah.
know
No.
we started to
After
see,
10 years of dementia, I mean, I've had people in my homes after 10 years and they're barely able to talk sometimes.
yeah.
So
I mean,
it's
the blessing,
fantastic.
the blessing is incredible. I mean, it really, the types of interactions that we have with my mom, I think about, the laughs, the joking, you know what I mean? Like all of those experiences. She's got a great personality.
Gee, thanks. I'm
She
gonna
sounds like,
She does. We're gonna have a good day for sure. We also start off our days I try to remind her, I'm like, today's gonna be a really, really good day.
Mhm.
Dr. Daniel Amen talks about this. I was like watching one of his Instagram posts the other day, and he said, start your day off saying this, say it out loud. I think there's a lot of power in that.
oh,
Um,
I think there's a tremendous amount. I've read a lot about goal setting and people tell you to read your goals out loud like every day to yourself.
yeah.
And
Ooh,
then that's how to sort of manifest it for yourself. And
yeah.
I've had some goals that I've done that and I achieved them and I never thought I could. So
Nice.
um,
Love
I
it.
m- the power of suggestion is incredibly powerful.
Yes.
So I think that's a great tip to, especially for caregivers, people like you caring for your mom at home, say it for yourself as well as your mom. It's going to be a great day for both of us,
Yeah.
right? Because it's very easy to wake up as a caregiver and go, oh, another
Here we go.
really
Here
tough
we go
day ahead.
again.
And no, it's going to be a great day.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and it does, I mean, I get it. It's not all rosy, I mean, sometimes we lose our patience and, it happens.
Right.
Sometimes, as it gets later on in the day, the questions come more frequently, she's getting a little bit more tired.
Get tired.
Um, and you get tired. So, it's important for you to sit there and do the meditation or breathing exercises with her. Or one thing that I think really makes a difference, and I notice the difference in her, and she even mentions it when we do it, is like just following along with Qigong. It's like Tai Chi.
Yep.
So that's one of the things I think that makes a difference. It helps move your energy through your body. I think that helps with the whole detoxing process as well. Which is
Oh, I
so,
bet.
yeah.
So when she's watching YouTube videos, do you just put them on TV and like she can just watch the video and exercise on her own
Yeah.
sort of?
And she'll
Um,
stand up and follow along. Yeah, step by step, she does it. There's another
okay.
Yes to Next. They're really cute, like mother and daughter couple out of Minnesota, somewhere in Minnesota, I think. And they have a lot of good, so it's like the daughter is doing a little bit more high intensity or more challenging exercises, but then the mom does the modified exercise, and it's just really cute, so we'll both follow along to that, and it's
Wow.
called,
It's called Yes to Next.
yeah, yes, the number two and next.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. I'll see if we can do some in our homes.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's fun. It's really fun. They're cute. Like it definitely keeps her engaged. So, I think that from a caregiving perspective, I think if you keep your routine and try to stick with that routine as much as possible, it makes the job a lot easier. Um
It
and
probably is easier on her too because she,
yeah,
it's not like surprising her or something weird out of the ordinary is going on.
yeah. Oh wait, what are we gonna do now? She knows. She knows we're gonna go on a walk at some point today.
Yeah.
She knows.
Gonna get out in that sun.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking at it right there, right there.
Yeah, we watered yesterday, spent a lot of time watering. She pulled some weeds, so getting into the dirt. I mean, all of that.
But
It,
that's exercise.
yeah, that's exercise. She was bending over, and I was like, okay, that's good. Let's get some blood to your brain.
Yeah, absolutely. No, all of that, just moving around is so important.
So important. So,
It's
yeah.
very easy to stop that because everyone's worried about falls and things like that. But the best way to stop people from falling is to strengthen them and get them active so that they get better balance and they don't fall.
So
Yes.
I know how to walk.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
important.
walk.
We do heel raises from that perspective. I think the heel raising is huge. And we also do squats where I have her hold, put her hands like this and then stand up, sit down, stand up,
Oh,
sit.
that's really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Leg strength is incredibly important for many, many reasons. Everyone should do squats. Little kids should do squats
Yeah.
and everyone in between.
Yeah. So we, those are the types of things. I think the brain exercises is where, we probably need to ramp up what we're doing with that. I got a book with some brain exercises and we went through one of those pages, just kind of like matching images to each other.
Something we're doing right now is I'm asking the families to send me like 12 pictures of family together and everything. And then there's a lot of websites that are for photos that you can create a memory game, like 24, where you turn over pairs of cards and try to get the same ones, but we
Oh,
do it with pictures of their family, so it becomes much more familiar to them
and yeah,
rather than, a picture of a cat or a picture of a ball or something like that. It's, hey, that's my grandchild there.
that's awesome.
So, and that will strengthen their memory as well. And I'll just walk around or when I'm interacting with them, hey, what day is it? Do you know what year it is? Do you know what town we're in? Do you know what state we're in? Do you know? Just sort of questions off the MOCA tests. I just,
Throw 'em at 'em.
throw them at them, and if they don't get it right away, I'll say, okay, it's 20 something,
Yeah,
and if they go it's 2028, I'll go, okay, it's 4 years earlier than that. What's that? And then they have to do some math. So it just, I figure if that MOCA test is testing for dementia, why aren't we asking those kind of questions every day?
that makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of
Yeah. So, and it's nice because it's not like we have to sit down and set up a game or anything like that. It's just back and
quick.
forth. And
Yeah,
you can see them sort of the gears are turning trying to figure this out. So it's exercising their brain.
yeah.
Um, without like I have to allocate an hour for brain exercises or something like that. And I've
Right.
told the caregivers, when you're sitting them down at the table for a meal or when you're, bathing them or that kind of thing,
Yeah.
ask them questions.
Yeah, it's so funny because that you say that when she's showering, it's so funny and she's washing her hair. Now, what's the date today and what year, what month and day is it?
She's asking that?
Ask that. Yeah, it's kind of
Oh, that's
a
wonderful.
question.
That's
Like,
fantastic.
well, and then giving her, yeah, prompting her, definitely that helps. So, you
Hmm.
know, 2000 something. Yeah, definitely that helps. Um,
And it makes me, it, it makes me sit down. It's kind of, makes me,
it grounds you.
that's a word, that's
Oh,
a word. It grounds me, that, because I know what it has happened and what's gonna happen.
yeah.
Right. I mean, there are many times that I don't know what today's date is. I have to look at my watch to go, oh yeah, it's the 21st today. So I don't think, the date is that important or like, is it Friday already? Um, Things like that. But, knowing just like you said, it grounds you to know what town you're in, what state you're in. And even if I go, they don't, they're like hesitating on the state, I can say it starts with an A and they'll be like, Arizona?
Yeah.
So it's there. You
Yeah.
just got to tug a little to pull it out.
Yeah. And what happens with her sometimes, I think, is if we're, if you ask her, you're putting her on the spot. So I think sometimes, there's a little bit of like anxiousness with asking the questions, and that's when it doesn't come. And so we'll just be
Mhm.
like, just relax. It's there. And then, she just doesn't, sometimes she doesn't have the level of confidence to know that what's in her head is right, you know?
Right. You got to
And
trust
so
your gut.
trust your
Yeah,
gut.
I
Yeah,
know.
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh no, there's a lot that you can do. And you don't have to do all of it, right? I think it
Right.
gets overwhelming for some people, but just to kind of get in the game, I think the main thing is to just get moving. She has definitely had falls. Hopefully, we're done with those. So we do spot her um
Hmm.
from time to time, and that can be a lot of attention and energy that you have to put to that, but it's just so important. Um,
It is.
that
Yeah,
you stay away from those. So, because that definitely, we've noticed afterwards her cognition worsens, and then as she heals, it gets better. So, but it's kind of like, three steps forward, one step back, three steps forward, one step back. And it's a
right.
process. And you definitely just have that
It's a
piece.
battle. It absolutely is. And it's one that you can't rest. Like you can't go, we've got her to the stage you've got her now.
Yeah.
Okay, we're done.
Not done.
It's yeah, it's I hate to say it, but it's like alcoholism or drug addiction. You take that one drink again, you smoke that cigarette, snort that line of cocaine or whatever, you're back in the game,
Yeah.
right?
And
And
that's the thing about eating the sugary foods, right? Because what it does is
mhm,
it changes your taste buds and it gives you that craving for it. And so you kind of get on that cycle again. So that's the problem with like, just even doing the little cheats, you know what I mean? But
right. Oh,
then
I mean, even in my assisted living home where I control the food, I have doctors and hospices and physical trainers and people come into my home that are medical professionals and they bring a box of donuts because they think they're being really nice for the resident. I'm like, no, no, no.
yeah, no, that's what they called it at Marama was what do we call it? Contraband. They called it contraband. Yeah, no, we don't have that in here.
Yeah, yeah, I know. And it's so pervasive in our society and
Yeah.
we have to change that culture somehow.
And hopefully it will happen, at some point. I mean, not to
Mm.
get political, but I mean, I'm excited that RFK Jr., well, hopefully if he gets on the health and the
Human
Secretary
services.
of Services.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
even, yeah, some people think he's a crackpot and everything, but if it's not his prescription for how to fix it, and at least it makes everyone aware something needs to be done here.
it needs
I
to be
don't think there's anyone that disagrees that America has a health problem.
yeah, I mean the stats definitely show that we do. And
Right.
it's a lot of chronic disease in children, and
Oh, it's horrible.
that's a huge problem, right? So
Yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, diabetes was adult onset diabetes. And now it's type 2 diabetes because so many kids have it. And it just, I mean, I didn't know a single kid that had that when I was a kid.
right. It's just changed a lot. Yeah, things have definitely changed. I think it's related a lot to the processed food and, like a lot of the seed oils too, I think make a difference. So going back to your point about the salad dressings is you definitely, and looking at the ingredients, you have to do that. And if you start to see the canola oil or palm oil, um, some
Right.
like safflower oil, I think. There's a
Yep.
there's a few oils that I think you have to be careful of. So what we just use the avocado oil and coconut oil and olive oil. And I think we even try to stay away from heating up olive oil because I don't think it has um
Right. It gets rancid, I
yeah.
think, at a certain temperature. Right. You just pour it on the salad or whatever meal you've got directly. Don't use it for heating.
Yeah,
But coconut oil you can cook in that. No
Yeah.
problem. Avocado oil you can cook in that. I'm
Yeah.
pretty
Right.
sure.
What we pretty much stick with. But I mean, and then tallow I think is good as well, right?
Yep.
You
Yeah,
mentioned,
I actually keep the grease from my bacon and then use that to
yeah.
put in the pan before I cook eggs. It makes the eggs taste wonderful.
We do that too.
Yes.
Yeah, there's some sitting on the counter right now. But
Nice. Yeah,
but
I used to think that stuff's going to clog my arteries, but
yeah,
actually it doesn't at all. So,
yeah, there was
uh,
that whole push. So, but yeah, I think it's I don't know, we're we learn every day.
yeah,
We
very
learn
much so. And that's what's so great about this conversation, and many like it, is we're sharing ideas. And I really appreciate you guys taking the time, both of you, to share with our greater community and be an inspiration to them.
no
So,
problem. We love
um,
to do that. Love connecting with you and
yeah, you too. And
and
I,
share some of the new stuff that we've been learning. I know an article just came out about some non-invasive procedure that's supposed to clean up, like that's supposed to be around your lymphatic system.
oh, send
Um,
me
I'll
information
send
about it. I'd love to
it
see.
to you. So. But yeah,
Okay, well, let's keep sharing. Let's keep spreading this news as far and wide as we can, and let's see if we can help some people.
yeah, we are. We'll
Well,
do
we
it.
both are. We all three of us are.
Yeah.
So,
The
and
whole-
I am going to make it out to California and meet you guys in person here
Oh, that would be
sometime
awesome.
soon.
Yes,
Yeah,
definitely. Let us know when you're coming.
We can,
we'll all go on a walk together.
Yes, she's a hugger, so
Oh,
I'm
all right.
looking
I love
forward to
how
it.
sounds great.
All
All right.
right. Thank you
Well,
so much.
we'll talk to you guys soon. Take
All right.
care.
Have a wonderful day.
yeah.
Aloha.
You too. Aloha. Take
Aloha.
care.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Okay, so stop the recording.